And we are back. What is up, guys? Jewelers here. Don't forget to check my tracks 116 to 103 video to make sure you guys vote for what game I play for my 700 subscriber special. It's on there right now. Anyways, we are going to track number 87, again from the Wii installment of Mario Kart. This is Wario's Gold Mine. As you can see, the layout is not bad at all. It's a fitting ending to the Flower Cup. However, when it comes right after Coconut Mall and DK Summit, you got to realize that, you know, those are two amazing tracks, and this track just simply doesn't top it. I just find the ground of the track to be a little bit boring, and as well as the theming of it, you know, just gold being shifted from from random spots in Wario's mine, I guess. Those bats in the beginning that I showed earlier could really mess you up and screw you over if you're wheeling, and then they could just make you stop wheeling, especially if you have a heavy cart and it's hard to accelerate back to your top speed. You could also take the left side where those carts get dropped off to where you saw the boost panels as well, to get a nice little shortcut there. And speaking of shortcuts, I think this video, you know, needs some more based on some of you guys, and you know, we got some right here. As you can see, you could skip the first downhill of the course by using a mushroom, and you don't really need a shroom for this one, but I'm using it anyway because I have Mario. He's not as fast as Funky Kong or Daisy, and obviously you got the glitch here. I'm speeding it up because it takes a while when you're not as good as it as I am. And there you go, Wario's Gold Mine. Let's move on to track number 86. This is Riverside Park from Mario Kart Super Circuit. I don't remember from my top 136 if this was higher or lower. I would assume maybe higher or roughly the same, because obviously there's less tracks and my opinions have shifted quite drastically between my top 136 and now. But this track, it's a very simple layout. You got some nice trees in the background that make the track look nice. You know, it's not as elegant as Lakeside Park, which actually the sky changes in that course from day to night. But however, you do got this nice sharp turn going into a kind of long ramp. However, if you don't have a boost and you jump over the boost panel and just go on the jump itself, then you're pretty much screwed, because you'll land right back in the bottom of the circle at the bottom left of the mini map. And I just kind of made that up to show that off for you guys. I don't really know what that was. It does count the lap though. I don't think it's useful. I think the shortcut at the beginning where you cut the red blocks is more useful, and I did not show that off for you guys, but you can see that in my top 10 Mario Kart shortcuts video because I showed it in there. Anyways, this is Boo Lake, track number 85, just above Riverside Park. However, you have to be super precise on this track. As you can see, I'm failing it while recording for you guys because, you know, that's how I do. But, you know, ghost data can't be viewed, which means pretty much the same thing as in Mario Kart 64 DK Jungle Parkway. If you land on the grass, then you cannot, you know, watch your ghost. So this time trial is basically trash. But the course is not. As you can see, that house in the background is just pretty nice. Back for 2001 graphics in the Game Boy Advance. They got the purple trees that remind you of Luigi's Mansion. Definitely some shortcuts with the bridges here, especially that first bridge, which is almost invisible, which a lot of them in Broken Pier are, but that was Boo Lake. Anyways, I'm going to fast forward. Ice Ice Outpost here, a DLC track from Pack 1 of Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So this track, the main gimmick of this track is that there's pretty much just two paths. Even though it's called Ice Ice Outpost, the ice gimmicks don't really play into effect. It plays minimalizing into the ground, like into the you know, the track itself. You could feel the ice physics a little bit, but that's about it for the track. Besides the scenery, you could shift from the green to the yellow whenever you want. I'm just fast forwarding it because I want to show complete laps all alone on the green side and all alone on the yellow side, because, you know, this track, even though the variety between the two sections is not that much, they just twist and make their turns at different angles, but they do end up at the same spot. I do believe the green one is faster though, especially because of that end turn, because it's sharper than the yellow one, the end turn before the glider though. But you got a couple of useless shortcuts here that are pretty fun to trick off. You know, you got those two in the beginning, and there's one at the end, very end of the lap right here, which you could just trick off, and that's about it for Ice Ice Outpost. Just a couple of quick shortcuts, and the course itself is, you know, a little on the bland side. Speaking of ice, we're going from the newest game to the oldest game in the series. This is Vanilla Lake 1, track number 83 on the list here. You know, there's some things about this track. You know, you got some pipes stuck in the middle, but these blocks though, as I was speaking in Vanilla Lake 2, the block that I'm running into right now, they could seriously slow you down. And I guess Nintendo wanted to put that there to add it as a challenge to the Vanilla Lake courses. especially since this course was going to be in the Star Cup, and this course is probably one of the shortest in the actual game. However, I think towards the end that set of blocks was, especially with the inserts of the colorful blocks, makes it really hard to get by, especially when you're trying to race 150cc computers when they're dragging right behind your tail, and it could get hard to complete laps like that unless you had a star or something. If you have a star, that course is amazing. You just fly by everything and it's so awesome. But now we are moving on to Delfino Square, some people's favorite track from Mario Kart DS. Personally for me, I just really never found it that exciting. The music is a bit catchy, I'm not gonna lie there, but over here it could get super narrow, and you know, if you're not good at snaking or this game in general like I am, or at least I'm not the best, then you're gonna have a hard time getting through this section, even though it is in the Flower Cup. However, you could just, you know, go down. You could go down the left to the dock to maybe grab an item box in a Grand Prix mode, which, you know, is not really faster, but if you get a good item and you're in a low position and you need an item, then I would suggest going down to the dock to get it. And that bridge that we just passed by could rise or sink, as in it could be flat or it could be completely up, and if it's completely up, then you're out of luck because it's so much wasted time compared to if it's completely down, and you definitely want it to be down for as many laps as you can in time trials. There's one pretty good shortcut here that cuts off the entire turn and saves quite a few time, and I don't know if you guys saw that right there. Pretty much all of my car except for my two wheels were off the edge. I don't know, physics just does not matter in Mario Kart, I guess, because in real life I would have fallen into the water. Speaking of water, we're going right into the water with Wario Shipyard from Mario Kart 7, and we are going through a couple of boost panels. I like the fact that you're going above and out of water for a lot of times, and then you're entering a dry bones mouth, or one of those, the water dry bones fish things. I forgot what they were called, and you got a couple of pipes with a lot of air that could surge you upwards and sideways and anything like that. They're not too powerful, but they're powerful enough for you to get back onto the land. And you also got a couple of boost panels. I always like to take the inside section because, you know, it's tighter, and when you're doing time trials you want to take the tighter route. You got to avoid those crabs. Sometimes the crabs could be annoying. I think I ranked this track lower on the list in previous list in the top 120 and top 136 because of those crabs, and I was super annoyed by those crabs. But now with a, you know, epic shortcut at the end that I couldn't do with the glider and all the things like that, I think this track was pretty neat. But we are moving back to Donut Plains 1, the final track in all of the Donut Plains series in Super Mario Kart. This is, or the Donut Plains themes, I should say, series. I don't know what I'm thinking. This is just a plain and simple track. You know, you got a couple of sharp turns, but if you turn too much, then your car could just spin out of control, and especially on a 150cc Grand Prix where you got to drift so you could get some nice speed, it could get really frustrating when you're drifting a lot in this course, and, you know, taking shortcuts and all that kind of stuff, that one giant shortcut, and you're just missing your turns, or you're slipping out of time while computers are just passing by you, and, you know, it kind of sucks. You kind of have to go through the dirt, and I would recommend not going through the grass unless you had a mushroom or a feather or anything like that. But anyways, that was Donut Plains 1. Very simple track, not much to talk about for that one. But let's move on to Sunshine Airport, a very elegant track, as is with all the tracks in Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. You start, you know, inside, you know, the convenience center or the airport center, and then you go under a plane, a freaking plane, guys, like, honestly, and then you got the clouds on the background. The scenery is so nice, and then you get to, if you take the center route, then you could go in through a plane and land on a couple of these boost panels, glide your way all the way to the top to this, you know, little circly corner here. You know, this is kind of a bland part, just the part to this part wasn't really needed, but it wanted to get you back on track, as if the plane was, you know, landing, like you were taking off and then you were landing all in one section. I feel like that part was a little bit rushed because all that appears at the end of the lap. But regardless, you also got a couple of different paths that you could take, such as going under the plane, using your mushroom to get by with this shortcut, and then using your mushroom to jump over there, which I almost failed. But regardless, Sunshine Airport, a very nice track. Quite a lot of detail, as is with all the tracks in Mario Kart 8. And going to another track, oh my god, when I was making my list, I had so much trouble trying to decide between Sunshine Airport and Cloudtop Cruise, which are the first courses in the Star Cup and the Special Cup respectively. I had so much difficulty because, you know, these two are definitely not my favorite tracks, but, you know, I like to think of both of these tracks very equally in terms of how much fun they are to play with, especially on Grand Prix and online, and then the amount of effort I take into their time trial mode and how good I am at their time trials mode. I just had really no idea which one I wanted to put up, but I figured the intense layout of Cloudtop Cruise, especially with this section with the lightlings on the boost panels coming out on a glider, and then you got this epic leaf shortcut at the end, I figured I had to put this above Sunshine Airport, especially with the Gusty Garden music, I believe, from Super Mario Galaxy. That remix playing into this course, it just makes it such a beautiful piece, you know, to land right there at 78. Definitely not my favorite, which is why it's at 78. I've never really had some great experiences with it, but nonetheless, moving on to DK Pass, number 77 on this video. And, you know, this track, again, a snow track. I feel like it's definitely the twists and the turns make it a little boring because, you know, you just got, if you're not good at snaking, then, you know, it's just taking a while for you to complete these turns, and then you definitely don't want to get hit by those snowballs over there, or else you're also screwed. And then I don't know what the difference between the snow on the hill and the snow I'm driving on right now is, but apparently the snow on the hill acts as off-road, and this snow has its own physics where it's the main road, but, you know, your cart is still slipping and sliding around a little bit, and I had to avoid that snowball, which cost me, you know, some speed as I ran into the wall. A little bit frustrating about this track, and then you have to go on the outside of the snowmen to avoid getting hit by them. So definitely a lot of obstacles that force you to take unoptimal routes, unless you're like the world record and you could take insides of these shortcuts whenever you feel like it. And that, you know, was DK Pass. Pretty difficult track in my opinion. But we're moving on to Toad's Factory from Mario Kart Wii. Yes, the square track from my math video. If you saw that one, which 3,000 of you did, I am shocked. Anyways, with this track, you immediately get introduced to the speed panels and the backwards panels. The green ones push you forward and the red ones push you back, but they push you in the direction that they are going in. So you definitely want to go in the green ones, especially when you're entering this middle turn here. You know, I like the gimmick that this course has to play, because the turns could actually switch, especially in that section that we just had over there. And you also have this nice lake jump shortcut, which could lead you right into the boost panels, which could the bulldozers could cover the boost panels in alternating times. And it's a pretty nice gimmick to the track. However, you know, again, with experience and stuff, I've never really I mean, I've enjoyed it, but not as much as other tracks, as you can see here. Wario Stadium, we're moving on to 75. I have a feeling, well, not a feeling, I mean, I know. The only reason that Wario Stadium is pretty much above Toad's Factory in quite a bit of these tracks is that the glitch that Wario Stadium has is pretty nice. It's pretty easy. Any beginner from Mario Kart 64, if they get told how to do it, can pretty much complete this glitch compared to any other shortcut. And it looks nice too, which is why I ranked it high on my top 10 Mario Kart shortcuts, because it's sometimes hard to pull off, you know, back to back. But regardless, it was the first glitch that I ever made in this game, and I'm speeding this video, or not video, but this clip up. If you didn't notice, it's at like 1.4 times speed, because this track just takes forever to complete. As you can see, if you were racing it in a Grand Prix and you weren't doing the glitch, then you were just wasting a lot of time, because that was just one lap. This track is 3 entire laps. Like, thankfully in Wario Coliseum for the GameCube, that was 2 laps, which they should have done with this track, but I don't know why they made it 3. Or if you just want to cut some time off your track, you just do the glitch, both sides, jump off one wall, jump off another wall, complete a lap, boom, there you go. Very dull track regardless, but anyways, from Wario Stadium to Waluigi Stadium, Mario Kart Double Dash, again, my nostalgia place. We get another seemingly brown and dull track that you may think, but there are a lot of boost panels and more obstacles, definitely a lot more obstacles in this course than the previous course. The music is somewhat catchy, and yet again, the lack of shortcuts kind of, you know, bumped this track down a couple ranks. You know, I used to like this track a lot, and I still do, but, you know, again, when racing against, you know, your friends in multiplayer or against just computers in random Grand Prix, this is the end of the Flower Cup, when you just kind of want to get it over with and see how you're doing. And then, you know, with the Mario Kart Double Dash physics, if you take the turns too tightly, you could end up going backwards instead of going forward, and you don't want to get, you know, target shocked over that ramp, because it's super frustrating when you have to fall through the hole you can get picked up by Lakitu. But that is Waluigi Stadium number 74. We are officially halfway done with ranking all 145 tracks. That was it, guys. Halfway done. Those were the bottom half of the tracks. Stay tuned for the top half of the track, the next 5 videos, and that is it, guys. I will see you all next time.